Hello everyone, it's Kay here, and I'm here today to do a bit of a show and tell and a share. It will amount to a bit of a tutorial at the end of the video, so do stay tuned if you've got the time. As a lot of you know that follow me regularly, I am a very happy member of the Crafting Emporium on Facebook, which is run by Nina and Kylie Koo. And each month we have a prompt to make up some things with. There was the masterboard, which I shared last time. I did go on to make another one, but it was birds and napkins, and I don't actually have a copy of it to hand, but it came out very nicely, and that is what I've used to make this month's or this week. Every week there is inspiration, but the prompt this month is to use up packaging and that kind of thing. I hope I've got that right. But anyway, I had a box that had those mugshot style packages in them, and this is all I've got left of the box. I saw it in the supermarket and thought, yes, that will do nicely. It's got the corrugated sandwich in it, as you can see, and then you've got this lovely shiny side and white, so it's quite nice platforms to start working with. I also had a little bit of my corrugated paper. That's all I've got left of that until I cut off another bit from my roll that I purchased some time ago. And what I've come up with is a tag, and this is using, just go out a little bit. This is using the cardboard from the packaging. You can just about make out the corrugation in between the layers, because apart from inking and putting some paper on either side, I didn't actually do anything to finish off the edges. But this is the tag I made. I cut out one of the birds from my masterboard and some of the branches and things. You see the music paper here. I did a little tiny bit of stenciling with the Harlequin stencil. You can just about make it out if I turn it on its side. I then had this wooden heart, and I've just gently inked around the edges, turned a little butterfly into a button affair just by putting a couple of holes in it and threading the twine through it. And the saying here is, when nothing is sure, everything is possible, which I think is a nice viewpoint to have, because there are no restrictions in life. It's what you restrict yourself with in the main when it comes to crafting. It's that little voice that says you can't do this, and then you sit down and you think, well, yeah, I can actually, and I'm jolly well going to. And this is what happened with this tag, which I am absolutely thrilled with. I did accent the bird, as you can see, with a little bit of glossy accents, but only on the top part. I wanted the underbelly to be clear because, you know, that's more natural, and I just wanted to give the effect of the light on the bird catching its wonderful plumage. So that was that one. I then made a small little tag, again snipped off my corrugated stuff, cut out some more double thickness butterflies, put a little bit of the distress ink over it, and a tiny little flat back pearl in the centre of the butterfly. This is one of the Tim Holtz ephemera type things that you get when you purchase one of these packs of, I think it was botanicals, but I'm not absolutely sure, but more of the masterboard that I made. This one is plain on the back, but I have lined it with craft card, and it just then gives it that extra bit of substance, and it feels quite nice in your hand. It's not going to bend or fold or do anything that you don't want it to, basically. and then out of the same packaging and virtually the same ingredients, I made this lovely little notebook. This is one of the dangles that I showed how to make on my previous video with designer paper, a little bit of corrugated paper here, more of the little butterfly buttons that I made. This again is the masterboard that I've used, and it's just been made up with napkins and then printed out and utilised in my little journal. This is the back of the journal. You can just about catch, if in reality, a little bit of the green from the packaging here, but I'm not overly worried about that because I have inked around the edges, and it is about having that really firm feel to it, and it's just such a lovely little notebook. I thought I would share how I made it because it is absolutely so simple. I think people that are just starting out or just like the concept of making a bit of a vintagey shabby chic style notebook might appreciate just how easy it is to put something like this together. The tags are very straightforward. You just get the size that you want, trim off your corners, punch a little hole in the top as I've done here, and then thread a little bit of lace and baker's twine through it, and then you can make to any size that you like. But for the notebook there is a little bit more to it, so if you bear with me I'll just go through what you need to make it. This is the packaging I was talking about, the craft card I was talking about, and the oh, have I lost one? A little bit of corrugated card, I think I might have. Oh blimey. That's one bit. I should have a second identical bit to it. Right, we're just going to have to make hay and play then. How odd. I put it all together in readiness so that it was easy to share with you. Alright, well, in any event, these covers are 3.5 inches wide. I'm still looking, having a frantic moment here. Oh gosh. Right, 3.5 inches, if I show you with the ruler here. 3.5 inches wide by 4.5 inches in length. So then I've cut 4 pieces, and I've got 2 of those. I've then cut 4 pieces of cardstock, 4.5 by 3.25, roughly speaking, and they will then act as covers for the journal. And I'll show you how to do the pages once we get to that bit. How very odd. That's really bothering me. Anyway, so what you do initially is put 2 pieces of your craft cardstock on the inside, what will be the inside of your little journal. You see here I've got a gap, but that really doesn't matter at this point. And I will just show you what I did on the back side of the journal so you can see it's all quite straightforward and easy to do. And I just used my little bit of Yoo-hoo glue. This is double-sided craft card, so one side is really lovely and the other side is nice, but it's not as pleasant, I find. If I show you, that's the reverse and that's the front. There's a darkening in the shade, and that's the way I prefer it to be. It glued up the wrong bit there, but this will amount to the front of the little notebook, and you just put it to the outside edge matching the inside, and it doesn't matter that you can take it up to the edge there, but it strictly isn't necessary. This is just to form the page. So that's one side, and then you do exactly the same on the other side. Again, make sure that the edges that you're lining up edge to edge are... I found a piece of card stuck to my sleeve, I suddenly thought. Oh dear. So that is that. That is then the two covers of your lovely little journal. So I'm keeping the green on the outside. You need to decide which one you want on the outside, which is the outside and which is the inside for your particular project. And what I've done on this bit, even though it's been stuck to my sleeve, oh dear, I'm going to have to put a little bit of extra gumph on it. What I do then is, because this is going to be on the inside, I'm going to add a little bit of the Yoo-hoo glue onto what will be my spine. I am leaving a gap here. As you can see, this is 1 inch by 4.5 inches. So what I want to do is keep that gap there, line up my little bit of corrugated so that it is equally distant on both sides with that centre gap in the middle. You do get a little bit of wiggle room if you're working quite quickly, so that then becomes the spine of your little notebook. And what I've done is added the extra adhesive into the centre gully there, so that when I put the other bit of spine down through the centre, it grips itself really, really nicely, says hello, and you're all set to go. So that then you would just line up in the same way. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's handmade, but if you do get it in the middle of your page, you will have then a nice secure area. You need to pick it up and just press that centre bit down so that it anchors onto the back area that's corrugated, like so, and then you just hold it down and let it stick. Burnish it by all means, but if you're using corrugated card, you don't particularly want to do that, because it would be a shame at this point to lose any of the corrugation, which just is such a nice look on the front of, or on the spine of, your little journal. And that is it. That is how it looks. All you need to do then is round off the corners on the outside edge, trim off anything like this that's showing. If it bothers you, I'm going to add some designer paper or some such over the front cover and the back cover of this, and also on the inside to pretty it up. But that is the essentials of putting it together. And then for my pages, I've got a little bit of oblong tea stained copier paper here. No, it was a doily that the lovely Betsy Doodle sent me, and I've trimmed it down to size. This is 2 pages of A4 coffee stained that I've folded in half and folded in half again, so that fold, the long fold, becomes my spine. I'm going to measure up at the bottom of the page, and then I'm just going to trim off the excess paper around the bit that I measured up really carefully, that then fits nicely into my little journal, and then it's just the leaflet fold to anchor it down into the centre of your corrugated little book, and that gives you a nice bit of writing. You could go on to put pockets and flips and that kind of thing, and there would be then the centre, the centre of your little journal, where you could, you know, just add some beads on a bit of string once you've finished your stitching it together. So I hope you found that informative. It really is as quick and as simple as that to put together. If you have any questions, do leave a message under the video and I will endeavour to answer any queries you might have. Thank you for sharing this time with me as always. Happy crafting everyone. Bye bye for now.